Alrighty, we're back from our closed session on Monday, February 7th, 2022 for our Adelaide Metcalfe Council meeting. We just went into closed under section 239 2K of the Municipal Act, and we discussed the Adelaide Metcalfe Strathroy Fair Dock Servicing Agreement for Central Road, Highway 81. And we just have a motion for the rise and report, and I'll ask that our clerk read that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The recommended motion coming out of closed session is that council direct the mayor to send a letter to the municipality of Strathroy-Caradoc regarding service agreement negotiations to date.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Is there a mover and seconder for that? Okay, Deputy Mayor Hendricks and Councillor Brody. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. All right, is there anything for other business at all? Councillor Brody.
Through you, Mayor Curtis, I was just wondering about with budgets coming up, and we've been on Zoom for a long time here, and I'm really thinking it's starting time to get back to in-house, especially when we have budgets. It's a lot easier to do that in-house. So I guess my question to Mike or Morgan is, you know, when or what is the rules that we can and we can't? There's, I think, 4 firemen that can't work right now with us. So I'm basically looking for an end game in this. I really think it's important if we do some budget meetings in person, not on Zoom. You know, if it's a small meeting, we can continue with a little bit of a Zoom, but there's some pretty important stuff we need to do. So I guess I'm just looking for a little bit of an answer there.
Okay, Morgan?
Yep, Mike, if you don't mind, I'll start, and if you want to jump in, be my guest. So in terms of our temporary vaccination policy, which I think you referenced there, Mike, and getting back to in-person meetings, what I'd like to do, if council doesn't mind, is to reach out to the health unit to determine what they would recommend at this time. I know that the province is still going through their reopening plan, and it should be in full effect in March. So they might recommend that we hold off at least potentially the temporary vaccination policy, but I don't see a significant challenge so long as we're following the proper health measures at this time to get back into person. What I'd also like to do is, because we have a hybrid, I guess to call it video conferencing system or a council meeting system, we can still have members from the public, if they wish to choose so, participate virtually, or consultants or the planner or otherwise based on their level of comfort, where we can contain the council chambers to council and staff as required. So if you don't mind, give me a few days with that one. I'll reach out to the health unit, figure out a plan of attack, and get back to you, council, through email if you wish.
Okay.
And with the budget idea in mind.
Okay, perfect. Councillor McKinnon?
And could we also look at an afternoon or morning meeting for the 1 or 2 of the budget meetings?
Okay.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that this time of year. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think staff appreciate not having to come out to more night meetings.
Well, I think we get a lot more done with staff there and information
Yes.
that we ask for, and that's why I'm really thinking it would be nice to have budget done in person.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And test out that new fancy camera that spins around.
Yeah.
Have to buy nice pants again.
Oh boy. Okay.
I am wearing pants, by the way.
Oh dear.
Anyways, is there anything else for other business?
No, I need to go.
Councillor McKinnon, you have your hand up.
Through you, Mayor Curtis, to Councillor Sue. I should have asked this earlier, but were you able to present my question to Roma in regards to the homeless shelters that they were suggesting under the Social Services Relief Fund?
The mayor and I think Morgan were involved in a separate session.
Okay,
for that.
okay. Can one of you address it then?
Yes.
Either Morgan or Curtis?
I'm not sure what that was regarding. Maybe Morgan knows what it is.
So I think the question, Betty Ann, that you proposed was for the ministers forum.
Yes,
We did submit the question, but I don't remember hearing it read out loud
Okay.
and responded to during the ministers forum.
okay. My concern was they're giving the money for the shelters, but because of a lot of the people having mental health issues, if they're not on their medication, even providing them with a shelter really doesn't assist them a lot. So they need some support of persons providing them with that, nudge to take their medications.
Well, if I may, Mayor Smith, one of the speakers was actually from a project up in Kenora, and they have a model where they provide shelter, but they also have support services in place. And it's all encompassing, because a lot of this, there's mental health involved, and
Yes,
your point, medication needs to be taken. There's addiction issues.
yes.
So it's the model they're using in Kenora. It's fully like it's a 360 model. It's not just providing a roof over people's heads, and they're having some success with that. So that was an interesting.
Yeah.
But they obviously there's a cost to set that up, and
Yes.
yeah. So
Oh, good. Thanks, Sue.
Okay, and as Councilor McKinnon alluded to, so there was the Roma conference that just happened not too long ago. Myself, our CAO Morgan, and Councilor Clark attended that. It was a virtual conference. And myself and Morgan, we joined in on 2 delegations. I mentioned that at the last meeting as well. The one was in regards to the Drainage Act and the issues that municipalities are running into with the railway tracks. I think that was a really good delegation. It was with ourselves, Southwest Middlesex, Thames Centre, Perth South, and there was another municipality in there as well.
Chatham-Kent.
Chatham-Kent, there we go. It was a good discussion. The minister seemed to appreciate the discussion that we had, and it looks like they're willing to look at that and try to move that issue forward. The other delegation that we attended was another joint delegation, and that was with Southwest Middlesex. And we talked about the issues of the Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund and how that fund has been decreasing every year, and that the original intent of that grant process is very different than what it is now. And I, brought up the fact that when I started on council in 2010, and my first budget cycle was 2011, we were close to $2 million for the OMPF funding. And this year, we're floating around that, $300,000 mark, Morgan or Johnny? That seems, yeah. And, there are new grants that are out there, but it does not come close to what we used to be receiving, over 10 years ago. So even before that, I'm not sure exactly what it was. So,
well, and you're not guaranteed to get every grant you apply for either, right? So
No.
the shortfall. Yep.
And that's what we were talking about, is making sure it's stable, that it's reliable, that those dollars are there, because it's hard for us to budget year after year with the grants decreasing, and then you have to apply for it, just like you said, Councillor Clark. So the minister did a good job listening. I don't know if we're going to make any movement on that one, but it's Morgan shaking his head no. So anyways, that's just some of the highlights that we had from that conference. Anything else for other business before we get into bylaws? No. Everybody should have hopefully received their taxes in the mail, or they will be getting it soon. Our tax deadline for the first installment is February 28th, and Johnny will be happy to answer any questions. So let's move into bylaws. We need a motion that bylaw number 5, 2022, noise bylaw number 6, nuisance bylaw number 7, A to Z storage site plan agreement, and bylaw number 8 of 2022, confirming this meeting received the first, second, and third and final reading. Councillor Brody, seconded by Deputy Mayor Hendricks. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. And before we go, I'll remind everybody to put your garbage out. And the reason I say this is because I always forget, and this is my own reminder to put the garbage out. So we need a mover and seconder to adjourn at 8:56.
I'll move.
Councillor Clark, Councillor Brody, all those in favor?
Aye.
And that's carried. Okay, we'll see you.